Breaking news now, sponsored by nicolock. Saquon Barkley came to terms on a one-year deal with the Giants, so Big Blue, you can breathe easy. No holdout necessary. He will be on camp on time. Now, New York Post Giants beat writer Paul Schwartz has the X's and O's on this deal, on how it got done and what it means going forward. Paul, thanks for hopping on. The news broke this morning. I'm feeding my 12-week-old baby his formula. I put a smile on his face. 1 year, up to $11 million money with the $2 million signing bonus. Give it to us straight. How'd both sides finally come to an agreement?
Well, look, I mean, this was not really a both sides thing, Brandon. It's that Saquon Barkley looked at the calendar and said it is Tuesday. It is reporting day for the Giants for training camp, and he wanted to be there. That's all. I mean, this deal, this is like getting a nice cup of coffee and not that great. You put a tiny little bit of sweetener in it and it tastes a little bit better, right? Look, the Giants didn't have to do anything. So they could just say, this is the tag. It's 10.1, take it or not. And so it's still basically a tag for the guaranteed money is 10.1 million. There's a $2 million signing bonus that is included in that. So it's not any more than that. And there are incentives which are all tied to the Giants' success. There are numerical incentives, but they're all tied to the Giants making the playoffs. So it behooves Saquon Barkley to get in, to help the team win, which is stuff that he always wants to do. You know him. He's a really good team player. And if all goes well, it gets to $11 million. So look, in the long run, did he make a mistake not signing a longer-term deal? In my opinion, yes, he did make a big mistake. But you know who the big winner is here, Brandon? It's Brian Daboll, because now the first 10 or 15 questions to him on Wednesday morning will not be, what about Saquon? What about Saquon?
Yeah.
What about Saquon?
Yeah, getting Saquon back on this offense is not only a sweetener, but a turbo shot as well. The great things that he's going to do in a Brian Daboll offense in year two. So after everything that's went down, who benefits more from this deal, the player or the club?
Oh, the club, big time the club. Look, I mean, I'm not going to cry for anyone who's going to be making $10 million to play football. Now, look, Saquon would rather have been making a lot more than that. Look, that's the plight of the running backs. And I think all those guys, they went on Zoom calls, right? And they all kinds of chats, all these running backs, Josh Jacobs and Dalvin Cook, and all these guys who are not getting paid. And look, they can chat and Zoom and Insta face and whatever, Bill Belichick wants to call it, but it's not going to get him any more money. That's the way the market is right now. You get paid what the market bears. So this is a big win for the Giants. Now, look, the Giants weren't looking to stick it to Saquon here. They loved the guy, but Joe Schoen was going to hold his ground. He was going to pay what the market said he had to pay and really no more than that. So the Giants now get a player in. Is he going to be disgruntled? Is he going to be angry? Maybe. Is there anything wrong with running angry? No. As long as Saquon channels this correctly. Saquon knows that he needs to stay healthy and be productive and help the Giants win, and he can potentially have more money in 2024. Now, one thing about this, Brandon, is he did not get the stipulation that the Giants cannot tag him next year. Joe Schoen was not going to give that up. So Saquon can run for 2,000 yards, and the Giants can win the Super Bowl. And if they want, they can tag him again next year. Will that happen? We'll see. But they did not give up that right.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because the season's right around the corner. So the football part of things, that's done. But what's the next milestone for the two sides from a business standpoint?
Business standpoint is, just come in. Look, we saw these videos of Saquon in Arizona and everything. He's built like a Sherman tank. He's in great shape. But it wasn't going to do him any good to be working out away from the team. Saquon knows what the grind of football is all about. So there's really nothing from financial standpoint right now. In 2024, what happens? Look, he'll be 27 at that point, and that is kind of the tipping point for running backs, right? And that's the whole problem. These running backs get paid, they get drafted, and they get paid in their first contract, but the NFL doesn't want to pay them for the second contract. Now, Saquon still hasn't really, technically he has a second contract for 1 year, but it's really the tag. So can he break that barrier that running backs are finding and get a second contract? Stay tuned, right? There's a lot of football to be played, a lot of wins and losses. Saquon has to stay healthy. He's done that only really twice in twice or 2.5 times in his 5 previous seasons. So that's a big achievement for Saquon. And, will he be the one to bust through this and break the mold for running backs? It's going to be a hard road for him up ahead to do that. The league says no. Saquon has been kind of an outlier in the way he plays, so maybe he can do that. But look, right now, it's the financial stuff is now behind them right now. There's really nothing ahead of them right now. It's about being in the drills, getting some work, being with his teammates.
Yep.
Training.
Yep.
It's the stuff that Saquon loves. He loves, busting with the linebacker that he's going to break it next time. He loves busting with Dexter Lawrence that you wouldn't have tackled me if that was a real game. He loves, getting along with, his receivers and the other running backs. He's a good team guy. And this stuff was all taking him away from the team. Now he's back with the team. And I would imagine Saquon will have a smile on his face Wednesday when he is at camp and practicing.
Yeah, he's back in the building. The players report to camp today. The Giants open up their camp with their first practice on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Paul Schwartz, we'll see you out there tomorrow.
Yep, I'll wear a hat. It's going to be hot.